the Leiden Consortium on Individual Development, L CID. Why are not all children equally responsive to variations in the social environment? In the L CID study, we test social competence, which is defined as the ability to adapt to a changing social environment. And behavioral control, the ability to control thoughts and actions in responses to challenges in the environment. Even though there is a strong focus on these two processes, we also assess biological, cognitive, emotional, and social factors of the child that are important for social competence and behavioral control, as well as factors in the environment, such as family background factors. The aim of L CID is twofold. First, we want to investigate the development of social competence and behavioral control in children between 3 and 14 years old. And secondly, we want to dissect the reason why not all children are equally responsive to variations in the social environment. The L CID study is not just a longitudinal study. It includes monozygotic and dizygotic twins, which allows us to unravel the effects of genetics and the effects of shared environment. Same-sex twins of 500 families are followed over a 6-year period. A second important feature of the L CID study is the inclusion of a parenting intervention for positive parenting using video feedback. The L CID study includes 2 different cohorts, the early childhood cohort, aged 3 to 5 at wave 1, and a middle childhood cohort, aged 7 to 9 at wave 1. The last 2 waves of the early childhood cohort overlap with the first 2 waves of the middle childhood cohort, resulting in a cohort sequential design including children aged between 3 and 14 years old. Each cohort has 6 annual measures, and across the 6 waves, home and lab visits are alternated. The home visits include behavioral measures, and the lab visits additionally include a neuroimaging measure, such as EEG or MRI. In addition to behavioral and neuroimaging measures, we also collected several physiological measures, such as cortisol, which might serve as susceptibility markers. To examine environmental influences, we included a parental intervention. Between the second and third measurement, 40% of the sample received a video feedback intervention to promote positive parenting and sensitive discipline. Data collection was still ongoing at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. In both cohorts, we therefore included measures specific to the pandemic in an additional COVID-19 wave. The study includes over 90 different measures per individual, from parent and self-report to experimental task. The rationale behind this approach is that complex and dynamic processes can best be understood using multi-informant, multi-method, and multi-index methods. The innovative part of the L CID is that we assess social competence and behavioral control at each wave. One experimental task is a prosocial cyberball game, which measures how participants compensate another player that was excluded by others. This type of behavior is also referred to as non-costly helping. This task was administered at each lab visit of the middle childhood cohort. A second experimental task is the social network aggression task, which is a social task in which participants receive positive, negative, or neutral feedback from peers based on their personal profile. Next, participants can retaliate by blasting a loud noise on a trial-by-trial basis to the peers who evaluated them. This task was administered at each lab visit of the middle childhood cohort, as well as in a replication wave of the early childhood cohort. There are several specific aims that can be addressed in this study design. First, the combination of brain and behavioral measures will help us to study sensitive windows in development. Second, the 2 cohorts and overlap herein allows for replication. Third, the randomized control intervention allows us to test for causality. Fourth, with the twin data, we can implement genetic modeling and test the relative impact of genetics versus environment. Finally, not all children are equally sensitive to their environment. The susceptibility markers we assessed, such as measurement of temperament, stress reactivity, and genetics, allows us to test various aspects of the differential susceptibility theory. We want to improve young people's well-being and learn which conditions are optimal for social development. By moving beyond descriptive analysis towards predictive analysis, we aim to unravel important factors that determine which children will thrive during adolescence and which might benefit from extra support. Of course, we'd love to share the results with you. Are you interested in collaborating on the LCID project or using the data? Please reach out to us. You can find the link to the metadata file describing all our measures here. This study was performed with a team of students, research assistants, PhD students, postdocs, and collaborators.